it's me, Erin. Thanks for joining us on the More Love podcast. Do not tell Rebecca, but this podcast is about empathy. She likes people to think she's dead inside, but the truth is she's a big-time feeler who has truly helped me uncover that empathy is my superpower. Oh, here she comes.
Hey, bestie.
Hi, love.
What are you doing?
Oh, just getting ready to host a podcast.
A podcast? About what?
Life. Our life as best friends, who are more like sisters.
Ah, yay! I love us, and I can't wait to share our stories with the world.
Especially the ones that involve us pushing each other, right? To be our most authentic selves.
Oh, man. Okay.
It's Rebecca and Ruth today.
Who's Ruth?
Ruth? Me.
Ruthless?
Ruth is my alternate name.
You're sexy.
When I have a cold.
You're sexy. OnlyFans.
Ruth is
Welcome
the
to the
name.
More Love podcast.
I've decided I have that fur coat that you brought in today on. That's what I'm wearing. Yep. I am a chain smoker.
Yep.
No,
but it has to be the long stick
Yeah.
holder, like Cruella DeVille.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
I drink vodka out of one of those, what do you call those? Silver, the silver,
Shakers?
no, like
Snifter?
no, like that's not a funnel.
A flask.
Tumbler?
A flask.
Like
Oh,
Miss
flask.
Hannigan.
Yes.
Like Miss Hannigan
Yes.
from
Yes.
Annie. We were just talking about Annie.
I drink out of a flask.
Yep.
The only thing I eat during the day is
Gum?
like, yeah,
Cigarettes.
Cigarette, yeah.
mint gum.
Yep. Well, you smoke menthols.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
Cools the throat.
yeah. Yeah, it sounds a lot worse than it is because I'm on day 4 or 5 now, and
Now it's just in your throat. It's the
yeah,
frog.
now
the frog
it's
in the throat.
just there. But so Rebecca and Ruth are coming at you today from the More Love podcast.
I was going to open the podcast by saying we have an ego problem.
Okay,
And it's because we just got back from Florida and we had to take a car ride. And I'm like, let's listen to some podcasts. And without communicating to each other, we put them on and like we'd get like 10 minutes in and I'd look at her and she'd be like, that's not it. So then we'd switch and we'd try something else. And she'd be like, that's not it. And then at one point I looked at her and I said, do we only like our own podcast? Like it was. And then we proceeded to pick random ones and listen to our own.
you said, "Oh, this is a podcast someone recommended to me. It's called Two Drunk Moms." I'm
yeah.
like, "Oh, that sounds good. That sounds like it'd be really good." So we put that one on. I swear to God, we were 6 minutes in, and I'm like, "Is this boring as shit?"
Yeah.
It was literally two drunk moms. You're like, these ladies aren't even making
You
any
can't even
sense.
tell if they're drunk because it was so boring. You didn't get that far.
It was pretty bad. And I was like, are we just egotistical?
I know. What is it? We just like to, and we listen and then we still laugh at our own jokes at the same place that we laughed at the time we were talking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you, we're not alone because I checked the numbers today.
Stop it. What are we at?
What do you take a guess?
So when's the last time you checked them?
Months.
So the tattoo,
Yeah, tattoo, like a little over 1,000.
1,400,
Great guess. Higher.
1,599.
Really excellent guess, Bob Barker, but higher.
1,831.
1916.
Stop it. We've almost doubled.
1916.
I mean, 1,000 of those are ours. Just another day in the car, the car ride.
Just on the ride from one part of Florida to the other.
Yeah, just a little
We're
detour.
almost at 2,000.
Wow.
I know.
I'm literally mind blown. In fact, I went to soccer last night, and one of the moms who still cracks up about my mouth story,
Oh, yeah.
she says to me, she ran right up to me. She's like, I got to tell you a story. I said, what? She goes, I was at the store, and I got into the car, and I pulled down my rear view mirror, and I saw I had mascara all over the top of my eyes. And she goes, I had a moment. I went right back to you, and I died laughing. And she goes, not one person said anything.
Nope.
I said,
Still nobody said.
I said, and she goes, at least it wasn't as bad as you.
Yeah, at least I didn't have the lip
I
stain
said,
all over my lips.
I know. But to this day, people
Yeah.
still talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, we also had another interesting thing happen.
I mean, where do we even start? Because we have a lot of interesting things that happened.
I figured you would have opened with that video.
Well, so we came, so
After the
last
podcast.
week's video was dumpster fire. right? I'm pretty sure that's how I started the description as well. Erin's life is a dumpster fire. Her energy's off. Good luck with this podcast. That's what it was. So, and then I got sick, which is fine. Which is fine. And so now we're back. Life is
Moving?
starting to come out of the grave a little bit.
Is it?
So,
Is it, or are we just moving forward?
I don't know. I'm not really sure, but
Even our Florida trip was bad.
Oh yeah.
It was a tropical storm
Yeah, the whole time.
the whole time.
We're
In fact,
so excited about going to Florida.
so excited. Crap. Crapola. We had to buy sweaters.
Not good.
We had to buy sweaters, and we were so excited to go to Disney World to see the Mickey's Christmas party, and we get there and it's torrential downpour. So we're like, we'll just wear the ponchos. Everything's canceled
Yeah.
except for the fireworks. But then when the fireworks go off,
Which one? Wait, before the fireworks show. Before the
Frozen
fireworks
Ever
show,
After.
we have the Frozen Ever After. I swear to God, it has never rained that hard ever. Even in the rainforest.
And I
it
have
was
glasses.
so crazy.
So
you have
wait,
your
wait.
glasses on. You got your Mickey ears on, and I say you got to pull those down like this.
Like a visor?
You got to pull them down like a visor because you can't see because
can't see
there's so
anything.
much rain
and
on
there's
your glasses.
someone sitting next to you farting. Non-stop.
There's someone standing there, and I keep looking at you being like, is this person just going to pass gas the whole time?
Whole time. It was so bad.
Come on, it's miserable out.
Miserable. And
Like,
then-
come on. We
then they
don't need
announce-
that too. And I have a cold, and
Right.
it's still bad.
Right. And then they announced the show.
So then they're like, welcome everyone to Elsa Ever After, or whatever the heck they say, right? I am not exaggerating. I am not exaggerating. I was standing there. It is downpour. Rebecca looks ridiculous with her
Visor buzzers.
Mickey ears like this. I can barely see. I got my yellow poncho on. There's a family next to us that has their kids all covered up in a stroller. They're like, this was a lot of money to spend to be a complete washout. This woman's passing gas. It is just got to set the stage for you. It is not okay. And then they're like, "Do-do-do-do-dum," bringing it all in for this awesome show that we're all excited about. I can't even tell you what happened.
it was a one firework that went.
It was seriously 8 seconds long.
Yeah.
One firework went off. Like this fake, like ice came over, gone.
That was it.
It came over
whole
the
show.
castle, and then it was gone. And then it said, "Thank you so much for coming to the show." And everyone around us just looks at each other. This family with the covered kids is just pissed off, right? I look at you. I'm like, that was it? That was it.
That was it. And then the road was flooding.
Yep.
And the workers were sweeping the water.
Yes. And
and
what
forth.
did I say to you?
If anybody.
I said, if anyone hands me a damn squeegee mop in the middle of this torrential downpour, I'm going to say, I'm all done. That is stupid. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to do that.
I know.
I'll come out when it stops raining.
And do it,
But
right.
in the midst of the, I'm not going to be pushing the rain in the midst of the rain.
where?
That is-
Where? In the grass?
That is the epitome of just looking busy. Like you didn't have anything else to do.
Yep. So then I'm like, well, I can't see anything. I have to go buy a hat because I had to put the Mickey ear visors weren't working. So I bought a hat to cover. So now I could at least see. And
You guys know what happened when she went to buy that hat, though, right? Number one, she picked up one hat and then she shoved it in my face and said, "Ew, smell this." Shoved it right in my face. It smelled like a cow farm. I don't even understand.
That
how
lady
a
probably put
hat
it on.
Smells like that.
It
I don't
was
even
bad.
understand
It was
why.
really
Why
bad.
does that smell like a jockstrap? It's a
don't-
hat.
I don't know. And it was
is
the
a hat.
only Christmas Mickey one. And
This
I was
is
like,
not okay. So she puts that one back. She picks up another one. What does she have to do? Look at the price, right? Ooh, it's $38. It's $38. I'm like, listen, no
know.
one cares.
I know.
Get the freaking hat.
I know.
No
and I
one
did.
cares.
I did.
So she got the hat, and I had to hear about that hat 10 more times.
said I have to
what
wear
can
it.
I do with it after? Do you think I can return it? You know,
I wore it.
can't send it back to Amazon this time.
I know. And I wore it all weekend. And Sawyer's not wearing it today to school.
Yep.
Because we got to
I
get
was
that
surprised you
money.
don't have it on today.
Well, because she wore it to school.
Yep.
Otherwise, I would have.
Yep. Otherwise, it'd be here. So we're like, okay, I think I started when I got there, and you were like, is this going to be fun? And I said, it's about the attitude.
Wait a minute. Yeah, you did start that, but wait, go back to the hat. So then I buy the hat, and I go up to the cashier, and I say, may I please have 4 bags? And she's like, you mean like bags you put the hat in? I said, yeah, I need 4 of them. She's like, okay. And then I put them on my feet like boots.
Yep.
I look like a pirate.
Like you were 6 years old going out in the snow.
Yeah.
You put the boots on,
Yep.
and then you put your army boots that you had
I
on
put the bags
over
on.
those.
And then I
the
put the
bags
boots.
on. Put the boots on. And why didn't I even bother?
Because
to
you
put
were
the
wearing
bags
Uggs and they were already soaked through.
Yeah.
So it was like squish, squish,
the
squish.
whole time?
Squish.
They're still not dry.
Of course not.
It's 3 days ago. They're
I still
not
have
dry.
I still have my bag of clothes in the
wet and damp. And
you know what clothes I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I sure do. I sure
those
do.
Those are still in the bag.
Yeah.
Oh,
Should probably just throw those out.
I'm kind of interested in what clothes those are.
I bet you are. I bet you are. I bet you are. This actually was pre Disney World. Pre Disney World.
It's not okay.
Are you telling that story
Which one?
about the clothes in the bag?
Go ahead.
I don't want to.
You don't have to.
Scott.
You
Yeah.
gave him the video. Did you? Did she?
She's no, there's no video.
You're lying.
We're 100% talking about that. Is it time?
You gave him the video. I can't.
Scott.
Yeah.
Turn it off.
Listen, let's just say that Disney was not the most magical place on earth when we were there.
No, it wasn't.
And
The castle
we
ended up in
smiled the
smoke.
whole time. It
was bad.
We had to then get to the fireworks show, which was by far the worst fireworks show that Disney has ever put on ever.
Ever.
Something was wrong with the projectors. Nothing was projecting on the castle. The thing was just gray the
The
entire
smoke
time.
was just coming down. It was like
It looked like total smog everywhere. It was terrible.
Terrible.
It was so
it
bad.
didn't help that the night before the murder mystery we chose to watch was the amusement park ride that caught
not
on
okay.
fire and killed a bunch of kids.
It's not okay.
Nice.
And every time we were in one of those types of rides, I'm like, oh God, it felt horrible.
I know.
It felt horrible.
Oh
Yeah,
my
that
God.
was a
You
bad
also
choice.
forgot that she made me watch that. Then, of course, she's falling asleep. That's not even my cold. That's Rebecca. That is how
That's my
Rebecca
sleep-
snores.
my
She's
sleep
her
apnea.
sleep apnea. She's got her hand up like that.
Did you guys just go, the two of you?
Yeah, it was a work trip.
I know that the stories make it sound like there was a lot of people there to have this much fun, but
Just
yeah,
us.
it was just us.
You went to Magic Kingdom, the two of you?
Oh yeah. So much better without kids.
We're going back in February.
we're going back because it was such a
Can I come
washout.
next time?
It was such a washout that we got a free hopper pass.
They gave everybody who was
'Cause it
there
was
that
so
night.
bad.
Yeah.
We got a rain check.
Yeah, but that never happened.
I know.
Like Disney never does that. It has to be.
And even if
Not
we didn't get a free
okay.
ticket, we'd still be going.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But
I think it's our third time now we were at Disney by ourselves.
yeah.
Yeah.
I said to her last time, she's like, have you been on such and such a ride? And I'm like, the only time I ever go on rides is when I'm here with you. So did we go on it or no? Oh my God, tell them about what happened with the stupid Peter Pan ride.
Oh, God.
The Peter Pan or
Oh,
the
God.
Monsters Inc? The
I have
Peter
my
Pan or
own-
the Monsters Inc? What happened at Peter Pan?
Okay, I'll tell you what happened
Was
at
it
Peter
like a
Pan.
9-year long ride, line, and
No.
then
No,
the ride was
because
crap?
no one wanted to be there because it was so
Stupid.
There was
terrible
no
out.
ride. There was
so
no
it
line.
said 40 minutes, and Rebecca's like, I don't know, I don't really want to wait this long, whatever. I
'cause
swear to God, it was 7 minutes
If
long.
that, if that.
We get in line, right, and then we go and we
Oh.
sit down, and
I know what
we
you're talking
go
about.
and we sit down in the
in the ship?
little ship that you have to drive. And all of a sudden, this woman comes over who works for the ride, and she doesn't say anything. She
Nothing.
just, I'm going to do it, and
Right.
you say it in
Okay,
case
so-
people aren't watching us.
So we're
right?
sitting. Wait, don't do it yet. So Erin sits down first and she's like thinking to herself, I've never been on this ride. I wonder what it's going to be like. And I sit down. I'm like, okay, here we go. And as the ship bar closes, the woman comes over and she takes her fingers and does this little sprinkle, says nothing. She's sprinkling the bar. And I'm looking at Erin and I go, what is happening? I've
Pixie
been on this
dust?
ride. Yes, I've been on this ride 1,000
and then the
times.
bar goes like this.
Yeah, it goes me and closes. And she's fake sprinkling.
And she's fake sprinkling the pixie dust. So then we look at each other.
Right.
And Rebecca goes, you know she made that shit up. She
Nobody's
wasn't
ever
told
done
to
that.
do that.
It's
you
true.
know she just did that by herself.
Right.
And so then when we went to go get off the ride, I'm like, do you think that this man's going to pixie dust the thing?
No.
That man had he
No
didn't
way.
care. He's
No.
like, watch your step. Watch your step. He doesn't care. He
soaked.
does not care.
He does not care. Yeah. Yeah. That woman. And so then I say, why isn't there real glitter?
Oh, yeah. She's like, well, how come they didn't take the real glitter? I said, do you want to know how fast that woman would be fired
Right.
if she had a
Spreading
handful
the
of
devil's
real
dandruff everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember when
Every
you-
single time.
Remember when you pushed the little kid out of the way to try to pull up the sword?
The sword and the stone?
Yep.
Whatever. It was my turn next.
I know. She came right in out of left field.
Yeah, and then I gave her a look, and
know,
then
like-
her mom must have noticed because her mom said, "Oh, Adriana, I think this woman was next." And I'm like, "Oh no, oh, okay." I said, "No, it's fine. She's fine." Because what am I gonna say?
I know.
We got to be like,
yeah,
I actually
I
was
was
next.
next.
I'm sorry.
I've
What
been
are you?
waiting here.
Are you 6? Wait your turn.
Lucky I didn't step on
41.
you.
I got to see if I can pull this thing out.
You couldn't.
No, I knew I couldn't.
not
That's
King
why I
Arthur.
did it with one finger. And you're like, oh my God. Oh, you didn't even try. I said, it's a freaking scam. This is a scam. No one can pull it out.
King Arthur can.
This is what happens when we go to Disney.
She also cries on the baby roller coasters.
Because I don't like that stuff. I don't like it. Rebecca's like, let's go in the Tower of Terror. I said, we're not doing anything that has the word terror in it. We'll go inside the rock and roller coaster. Do you want to go on Tron? I'm like, no, I actually don't want anything to do with that. How about the People Mover?
She's like,
that sounds more my
even
style.
you were like, I can't do this. This is lame.
Well,
And
the
then you
People
liked
Mover
it.
got a little too much at one point because it was dark in there. And I'm like, if
can't.
this thing starts to go down, I
Time out.
swear. Oh?
So, what you two should do, they're all ears. You could start a GoFundMe so that you can hire a video crew to come with you for one of these things. Because, oh my God, everybody would watch this.
100%.
I mean, joke's on you, Scott. You're the
right.
You're the
What are you doing? What are you doing in February? What are you doing in February?
This is what you
All
do,
right, so
right?
the good
I'm
thing
just
about that is if
curious.
you pay my way, I'll do it for free.
Great.
we got a free ticket to go to Disney.
That's great. Yeah, I got it.
We
I'll
talk
pay
about that
for
all the
you
time.
because we already got a free one.
I
You
know.
can pay me in Disney churros.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about this all the time. The amount of that we cannot make.
No.
You can't make up what happens to us.
No.
And you're at least savvy enough to pull out your phone.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
But you cannot make up.
No.
At one point at the conference, first of all, I make us wear matching outfits. And I did not do a good job on the first outfit. So she doesn't.
Well, she did if you're flying Concern Center Air because we looked like stewardesses.
It was bad. I wish we had a picture. But so I never tell her what we're going to wear because she's very particular about the clothes. So I just buy them. And then when she's in the shower, I lay out the outfit on the bed.
Oh my God.
And I say, just put this on. And so this was a peach pencil skirt with a blouse, like a tight
This
pencil skirt.
is sausage material.
Sausage,
It is
sausage.
incredible.
And then it's this blouse, kind of like what I'm wearing, but it's got this big bow right here. And so we would tie it. It's white, and we would tie it. And then I go, we should put it on first because it takes me very long to get ready. And I'm like, oh God, that's very.
She puts it on. No, I put it on.
Right.
And she's looking at me, and I say, please remember to put your mask on first. Thank you for flying Concern Center Air. And she's dying. She's like, this is not okay. I said, I can't wait for you to put this stupid thing on.
So of course we have to wear it.
Yep,
We
all
have
day.
to wear it. So we're walking over to the convention center, and we have to push this big suitcase that we call Big Bertha because it's got all our supplies in it. And she has both hands, and it's heavy on these carpets. I'm carrying the coffees, the most important job. She's pushing Big Bertha, but she's faster than me. So she's hunched over pushing it. And I go, do your sexy walk. Like in front of, it's like this open area. And I just yell, do your sexy
And
walk.
so what do?
She did.
I do the sexy walk,
Except
right?
it's not.
Wait, it is. This is the best I got.
It's like a
It's the best I got. I want you to imagine me hunched over, right? Like
in her stewardess outfit.
This. Okay. Good. Everyone got me on camera here.
Yeah, right.
And then I went.
I need you from behind.
Boom, boom, boom. I did this on the side, right?
Shake your butt and lift your heels.
That wasn't enough. So you then said, lift that leg. So then I'm going, like this.
Pushing the thing.
Lift that leg.
Pushing
Move that
the thing.
butt. Lift that leg.
Right.
Move that butt.
And I'm wearing Spanx under my skirt because I have thunder thighs and can't just wear the skirt by itself. And so as I'm walking, the skirt's riding up bad. Right up. And I yelled at her as she's doing the sexy
As I'm doing the sexy walk, pushing Big Bertha.
in the middle of the convention center.
She says,
But we think we're alone in the hall because we're late.
She says, I gotta imagine this.
Two
coffee cups in her hand. Her skirt is halfway up her thunder thighs. And she goes, this skirt's halfway up my butthole. It's exactly what she said. Without skipping a beat, this man we did not know was behind us goes, no, it's not. You look great. And we snap around real quick. And I look at her, and this guy's got beaming. He is beaming. I just got done doing the hippo walk. It was incredible, and just lost it.
Hey, wait, you were at a convention center?
Oh, yeah, this is the conference.
This is our work.
Conference?
Representing the company here. Just representing the company in our stewardess outfits.
Wow.
In the stewardess outfits.
Yep. Everyone knew
She
us.
says, this skirt is halfway up my butthole. She said butthole. She didn't just say up my butt.
No.
Of course.
I said
Butthole.
butthole.
And the man,
Without
skipping a beat. No, it's not. You look great.
Yep.
And then doesn't he see us?
He sees us
so
at our
many
table.
times at the conference,
Oh, yeah.
and he just kept pointing at Rebecca and being like, "How's that skirt going? How's that skirt going?"
How's your butthole?
How's your butthole?
cannot.
Oh my God, we died. And then she's on the board. That make it even worse.
I'm on the
she's
board.
on the board
I'm
of
on the
this
board.
institution. And so at her table, not only do we have to wear these lanyards with her name on them, she has to wear a clip-on name tag. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh,
you wanna,
no.
You want to talk about stewardess? I got one of these name tags right here on my actual like stewardess outfit. I put that thing on. I go to the bathroom. I come right out and I said,
Gotta go.
absolutely not.
No, you got to wear the lanyard. And then she had to go do a presentation.
Had to give a presentation.
And I'm sitting
who's
in the
their
front
row
row.
center? Who's their front row center? Rebecca.
Twinsy.
Yep. And
Twinsy.
so I start the presentation. Thank you so much for coming to NRD Management. My name is Erin, and I'll be your flight attendant this morning.
Freaking dying.
Not okay.
Dying.
Yeah.
The next day we wore mint green cowboy outfits with
Pink cowboy boots.
Sure did.
Why are there
Everybody
no
knows.
pictures of all this?
Oh, we
there
got
sure
pictures.
is, Scott, coming your way.
We got
Okay,
pictures.
so
your
that's
way.
going to be added in post, I guess.
Absolutely.
Oh, sure. I'm telling you,
Absolutely.
we can't make this stuff up. And genuinely, we don't do it to be funny.
Nope, just normal
do
day.
it.
You're just
do
being
it normal
yourselves.
day.
And because it was raining so bad, there was an H&M next door. We had to go buy matching sweaters.
Yeah.
Because we had to keep the theme.
Because it was
Because the whole
very
concept
cold
is
in there.
we want people to talk about us. That works. Wear the stewardess outfit.
It works all right. I'm not so sure they're saying what we want them to say.
That's
but.
true. But everybody knows who we are.
Yeah.
Everybody. I love it.
So that happens, and then you ready for this, Scott? I need you to buckle in for this
All right.
he
story. Okay?
doesn't. He really doesn't know. You did not give him the video. Are you lying? I can't with your face. I can't.
So I don't even know where to start with this one. This one is next level.
We went.
We were in the car
Yeah.
and we were on our way back to return the rental car.
Right. Right.
Because not only
This
did
was
we
after-
fly
this
for
was-
8,000 hours
Right.
that morning, but then Rebecca had the great idea that we need to drive 2.5 hours one way
Right.
to a whole different part of Florida,
Right.
experience that for 30 minutes,
Right.
get back in the car for 2.5 hours and come back.
And come home and then drop off the rental car. And that was when we discovered our ego with the podcast. That's when we were
'cause
listening to the podcast.
And so we were so intently listening to the podcast.
Thanks for establishing the timeline. I appreciate that.
yes. It's
You're
very, it's
welcome.
kind of important.
You're welcome.
yeah.
Because we were so intently listening to the podcast that we did not pull over
Also,
to eat, to drink,
when we
to go
were
potty.
when we were at
Oh,
the
no.
when we were at the resort, they gave us champagne as a check-in, which we weren't really checking in. We were just looking at the resort.
Right.
And she's not drinking because she has to drive. So down the hatch, I drink two.
She has both of them.
Two.
She has both of them. Okay. So
Little bottles. The little bottles. Right?
No, glasses of champagne.
it's
glasses.
a full-on glass.
Full in glass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have to stop and fill up with gas before we return the rental car.
Which is the size of a clown car.
It's
Was it a little Fiat? or something
mini.
Like that?
It was
It's a
it was a
mini.
tiny car. I can't remember what it was, but I mean,
It's a mini.
yeah, it was tiny.
Yeah, it's mini. And Rebecca is the one who needs to get out and fill the car up with gas. Why? Because this car was for something associated with her work, not associated with my work. And when it's the other way around, it's just what we do. Right. So whichever, this is your gig, you fill it up with gas.
Right. Plus you drove. So
I did. I drove
it was the
whole
least
time.
I could do.
I drove the whole time.
The least I could do is fill up the gas.
So I'm sitting in the driver's seat, just stretching out, right? Getting ready. She goes out. She's putting the card in, taking it out.
geez.
Putting the card in, taking it out. Well, it doesn't work.
Yeah, I keep saying see cashier. And I'm like,
So she's like, how much gas do I need to tell him that we need to put in the car? Because I got to go in there because it's not taking the card.
and I don't know how to figure out
And
how much
I
is
say,
left.
tell him $40. She goes, $40? And I said, no, you tell him $40. It's probably going to be closer to like 30, but you need to go over because you don't want it to stop before it gets to that point. And they're only going to charge you for the amount that you put in. She's like, are you positive? I said, I'm positive they're only going to charge you for the amount that you put in. I go back. I take out my phone at this point because, again, I haven't checked my phone for 2.5 hours. So I'm looking through some text messages. She goes around my door, which is open, and she gets up to the very next
Car in front of us.
next to us or in front of us with the pump. At this moment, thank the Lord, Jesus Christ, I look up and I see her standing next to the pump. She has on a brown dress that is spaghetti strap, boobs out, hiney, nice solid hiney, and flat down the sides. Okay, this thing is.
It's one of those Skims dresses.
It is. You're seeing all of Rebecca's body shape in this dress. Okay. So I look up and I see something that I will not disclose yet, but it will come out. And this is me. I swear I'm going to enact this exactly what happened in this moment. I'm sitting there I'm looking up and I go, no, come back. Just like that. Just in that. It was like, what did you say?
Rose from Titanic.
Rose on Titanic. Come back, Jack. Come back. It was that level of exasperation. I said,
Because your door was still
I
open.
said, no, come back. Because I could not get it out fast enough that she's walking toward the inside of the gas station and I can't let her do it. I can't let her go.
Does she have like toilet paper hanging from the back or something?
So you wish. You wish she did. Okay? You wish.
Oh, jeez.
In this moment, she immediately starts cracking up. Okay? And I'm so surprised this moment because I'm the only one who knows what's happening. And she turns like this and immediately starts cracking up, which then makes me crack up because I don't know why she's cracking up because she has no reason to know why she's cracking up.
No, I think I do know.
Turns around because she knows in that moment that somewhere along the line, she had peed herself. And she
I think it was right then.
a spot. She has a spot that is the size of what is this?
Like a water bottle.
The size of like the bottom a cookie, size of a chocolate chip cookie, on the back of her dress, and it is an absolute wet spot. So I'm saying, no, come back, because I've noticed that she's wet herself, and I cannot have her walking into the gas station. She turns around, walks back to the car, immediately crosses her legs, and says, I'm peeing myself. She can't hold it in because she's got a problem with this anyway. You heard last time about the incontinence cup. That wasn't even, she returned that. So that wasn't saving us at that point. She's pissing her pants in the middle of the gas station. And I have officially lost it.
I can't keep it together, and then it doesn't stop. We are in bad territory.
You're not pissing on my chair, are you?
Bad territory. No, the car on the other end.
Pissing.
Oh, God.
She immediately runs over to the passenger side seat.
Yep. Oops, sorry.
And sits down in the chair. And I
With my
am
legs on the outside of the car. Like I didn't go into it.
beside myself.
And I just kept yelling, get the paper towels from the squeegee.
Yep, she wants them from the squeegee. What do I do in this moment?
Take out your phone.
I turn on the camera. We got the whole thing on video, minus the part where I say, wait, come back. We missed that part. But after that point, we officially have the whole thing on camera.
Yeah.
We have from the point where you're sitting there bending over in the passenger seat. We have the part where she's peed so much it's now come through on the front of her dress. We have the part where I have to go and try and get the paper towels, and there are none.
Right.
We have the part where I say to her, you need to stand up and turn around. She stands up and turns around. The whole back of her dress is complete wet spots.
Not good. Not good.
I have to go in to the gas station. I have to get a roll of paper towels.
And in
I
hindsight,
gotta
we should have got
pay
baby
for the
rips.
gas.
You gotta do all the
I
things.
got some snacks while I was sitting there because, you
Right.
you gotta. I was hungry.
And then while you're pumping the gas, I'm trying to squeeze out of my sausage dress in between two gigantic suitcases because they don't fit in the trunk.
Yeah.
In the back seat.
In the back seat of the
Because
car.
there's still people getting gas.
Yes. After I have already gotten you a change of clothes.
Right.
Again, the whole thing is on video.
It's not okay.
And I believe it is already posted
Yeah.
on our
Something.
Instagram or TikTok. It is not okay.
I know. And then after all is said and done, I look at her and I'm like, we can't make this stuff up.
We
It
get back
just happens.
in the car. I had 2 mini chimichangas in the back seat left over from lunch. I hand her a plastic bag to put the clothes in. You getting it, Scott? Those are the clothes that
in the
she
bag.
was talking about.
They're still in my suitcase in the bag.
And she hands me the chimichangas and says, I think these are all done. Because she's essentially dribbled her urine on my chimichangas.
On the packaging. I'm like,
It smells like absolute farm in this car. It is so bad that I'm driving with the window down because it smells like someone with a fetish was in the back seat. It is not okay. It's not okay.
oh, God.
So we're carrying on down the road. I have to turn in the car.
Yep.
And she looks at me in all seriousness
All seriousness.
and says, do you think they're going to charge me for an extra cleaning fee? Because it always comes back to that. It's always about the money.
I know.
It's hilarious. I said, I think you're in the clear. I think you're okay. We had to get out of the car, throw all of the The urine
had to go.
soaked paper towels.
Had to go.
Out.
I had to go immediately check in and take showers. Hilarious. This is not okay.
Not okay.
I know. Well, that's what you get for downing 2 glasses of champagne and not taking
Not taking a potty break
until it's too late.
Yep. So I bet you wish that you hadn't returned that $30 urine cup to Amazon.
I know.
Because that would have come in a little bit handy.
If it worked.
Well, it would have worked better than what happened there. So
I'm yelling in the video. Can we just go to the Walmart over there and get the Depends?
yeah, I gotta go get some Depends.
Oh, my
Gotta
God.
get some Depends. So
You know, when you guys finally get to that 20,000 download per episode mark, you can actually raffle away
Those
a
clothes?
trip. No, not those clips.
Rebecca's pea dress.
No.
Oh, wow.
Well, you talk about
a trip with
fetishes.
us?
You'd probably get a pretty penny for that from a fetish guy.
Gross. Yeah, Philip's the first one on there, raising his flag. $10, $15, $20.
Gross.
Win a vacation or win a getaway with the two of you,
Oh wow.
That'd be fun.
just to witness
Yeah.
The shenanigans?
the
Yeah.
shenanigans.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Everyone,
to sign
please
waivers.
contribute. Please contribute so that you can, be on this trip with us. But just so we're clear, that shit's rigged. It's Kelly up the street. We're bringing Kelly up the street.
Well,
But
this
yes,
one time,
please, we will sponsor that for sure.
This one time we went on one of my work trips together and we stayed at a donor's house. And we had to stay in their guest room together. And she goes to take a shower and she comes back through only wearing her underwear and a Power Rangers mask. I'm like, where did you get that? She's like, there's a whole thing of costumes in here.
And then you went and took a shower. And when you came back out of the shower, I was wearing a Victorian dress,
Laying in the bed.
laying it like this.
Like,
Just with my
like
hand.
on a fainting couch.
Oh my God. Speaking of Kelly up the street, she bought you some things
Oh.
that you need. She bought you some things. She also bought me some things.
Okay.
Which was really, really nice.
Well, okay. So did we tell the story about how we had to call her when we were on one of our trips?
Oh, no. That was a different trip.
Yeah. 2 weeks ago, we went on a different trip and we checked into the hotel and then we went to dinner, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And then we came back. And
Remember that salmon you had or whatever that cod was?
Yeah.
And you said it tasted like absolute
It was
butt.
weird. It was
so
flattened
gross.
out and rolled up. It was very
And
weird.
mine, on the other hand, was
great.
delicious. It was great.
So we come back to the hotel room, which is a borderline shady place.
Yeah.
Borderline shady. And we come in and I go into the bathroom and I look and there's the extra toilet paper roll. The extra one, not the one that's already on the holder. The extra one sitting there with the wrapping off of it next to it.
Half off.
Yeah. And I say to
Half
her, because of course we don't even go to the bathroom alone. We're so codependent. I'm like, did you?
No, you didn't. No,
No,
let
I
me
said,
tell
did
them
you
what
not
you said.
see?
No, you started with, you're such an idiot. And I said, why? And you said, did you not see
Right.
that the toilet paper
Is
was
right
already
here.
out here? You had to open up a whole nother one.
Right.
And I said, I did not take that out.
And I said, then who did?
And I said, I don't know.
I'm like,
But
I
was
don't
it
like that.
you?
And I said, no, I wouldn't have done that because I know it's right here.
And then you were 100% convinced that I did it.
And then, right. So then we're not communicating because she's like, oh my God. And so she's thinking that I think there's a ghost in the room.
I'm 100% convinced that she thinks Spirit did it.
But I don't think that. I think somebody came into the room.
right.
So we then move into our respective beds and I'm near the closet.
No. You're missing the part where you're like, I don't like this. I don't like this at all.
Right.
Oh, I gotta hurry up and pee. So
Right.
you
So
pee
I-
real quick.
Right.
And then I'm laying on my bed.
Your bed. But I'm next to the closet.
Yep.
So I sit on my bed and you're like, you need to go in that closet. And I'm
I
like,
said, you need to look in that closet right now. And you said, absolutely not.
No, and I jumped in your bed.
jumped right on my bed with your shoes on.
Everything. Because no way. That was too scary. I'm like, I can't go into that closet.
This is
I don't
my
know what's
bed
going to
now.
be in there because you're thinking spirit, which we never talked about.
Never talked about.
I'm thinking
You're thinking
person.
someone randomly came in just to unwrap the toilet paper and then left.
My husband said, what, you think the maid came in and took a shit? I was like,
And
no.
flushed it.
Yeah.
And flushed it.
I was like, no. Then I finally get brave enough and I open the doors.
Yep.
And there was
She
nothing in there.
pushes them open with a stick. She hurries up and pushes them open real quick.
Nothing was in there. Then she turns around and looks at the windows where the curtains are, and there's like this blue scarf.
Blue huggy wuggy scarf looking thing.
And she's like,
hanging
"What is
down.
that? You
I
need
said,
to go
was that
touch
there
that."
the whole time. She's freaking out. She's lost it. She has lost her mind.
It. I'm like, I can't go near there. What do you mean? I'm like, we cannot stay in this hotel. We gotta go.
Yep.
And so she calls Kelly up the street.
Yeah. I called Kelly up the street. I said, we're having a massive problem over here. There's a major spiritual energy issue that's going on, and you need to calm it down.
And at this point, I'm trying to iron our matching outfits
Yep.
for the next day, and the iron's not working. The iron is not working. It's making weird noises. It's not turning hot, all the things. So Kelly up the street gets on the phone and she's like, just so we're clear, it's Rebecca's energy. And I go, what do you mean? She's like, your energy is fucking with the things in the room. And I'm like, you mean I have like spirits on me? She's like, no, it's just your energy. I said, what? So then she starts talking about all this stuff and she's like, you need to get grounded. So the iron is still not working. I'm trying to listen to her. We discover in that moment that I wasn't worried about spirits being in the room. I was worried about actual person.
Yep.
And so then we get through that. And then I go to iron the matching outfit and the iron is still not hot. And then you flicked it to go on and I promptly burned the clothes.
Yep. She then got a burn mark on the right sleeve of her dress.
And I said, we're all done with this. We can't do this anymore. It smelled like burnt plastic. It was horrible. So then we turned the shower on. I hung up the outfits, turned the shower on, and let that run on super hot for probably 30 minutes. Dresses look great minus the burn mark. Did I wear it? 100%.
Sure did.
100%.
Sure did.
You can see that picture. Did I promptly return it to Amazon? 100%.
Absolutely. This came like this. That's what you said.
I didn't even say that.
Like
I
this.
just said it's too small.
Yeah. Great. That's great.
Yeah. So
And so
we've learned that I need to be grounded.
yeah. So Kelly up the street had to do like a mini therapy session.
Yeah.
The whole time I'm like, we're clear. It's Rebecca, right? We're clear. I'm okay. Kelly's like, you're okay. You're okay. I'm like, okay, good. So it was you.
Yeah, so
and
she said-
what did she say to you?
She said,
You
I need to get grounded.
Take your shoes off.
Yep.
Put your feet in the ground.
Yep.
And you need to get grounded because your energy is causing wonky things to happen.
Yes. And I felt that immediately when she said it. I was like, that makes so much sense. Oh my gosh. Well, we weren't going out to shady ass New Jersey in that area to go outside. So we had to do
Right.
alternative options.
Right.
But
So
felt much better.
she took me to this hippie do shop that she really loves on Monroe Ave.
She's like a legit person.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a
Right.
present.
And
And it's a pink.
I picked that part.
Stop it.
I know. So she picked these dark black, what is it? Hematite? Is that what it's called?
Are they different?
No, they're the same. Oh, maybe some of them are mine.
Hematitty.
Hematitty. Good.
Hematitty?
Yeah, I think it's
Hemashoe? Hemafoot?
I'm 100% positive it's
Hematitty.
not hematitty, but we will be calling it hematitty.
This must be yours.
No, they're both yours.
Oh. Okay.
So
Definitely the hematitty. It goes good
Hematitty.
with my narcissist flower.
yes. And so she said, go over and find the one for Rebecca. So I find the black one.
Hematitty.
And I'm like, this is it. And then I say to her, she can't just have just one. She has to have two. And so
otherwise it'd be like
Kelly
this.
goes, one for each hand. I said, that's absolutely right. I said, she really needs that.
Yeah. She probably should got 5
So-
for each finger.
Then I went over and she said, pick the stones for you because she was going to buy me my stones.
Yeah.
And I absolutely picked the stone that she
Was
thought
thinking?
I should have.
I love that.
And then I picked 2 other ones. And yesterday, because I was sick, I couldn't go to wine club. But those girls are so amazing that they still wanted me to participate.
Stop it. They zoom you
So
in.
they put the wine into go cups and they would bring them over as the new wine. So it was like number 1 and they would bring it over. So Kelly was coming over to bring me the wine and the food. And, as I'm laying in bed, basically dying of this sickness. And she comes over at one point and I'm laying on the bed like this. And I got the 3 stones that she had purchased for me right here on my chest.
Yeah.
And she's like, so much for not being into the hippie voodoo shit, huh? And I said, they just felt like that's where they were supposed to be. I said, I feel like they're taking the sickness out of my chest. She's like, that checks. That completely checks. So then I go to take
she's
them
in denial,
off.
folks.
I go to take them off after they've been on there, and I felt that they'd been on there enough time.
Oh, okay.
Isn't the imprint
Stop
of
it.
these gems, I took a picture of it, it's still in my chest.
Stop it.
And I did not push those gems on there. I did not. I literally just laid them on there. They were not on there for a crazy long time. And when I took them off, they're still imprinted on my chest. So
Do you feel better? Did you feel better?
I started to feel better yesterday. I feel a little bit better today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Could also be the Sudafed, but I don't know.
Maybe
But
it's a combination.
more important than those hematitty rocks
Hematitties, yes.
is she said, you need this.
Oh, yes. We talked about this. Her and I had a really beautiful phone call yesterday. She said, I have to sage myself.
You have to sage.
Okay.
So
Should we light it up?
yeah, we're going to light that up. Yep. And then we're also going to give Scott a good saging.
Okay.
Scott needs a saging.
We'll do
too.
it. Well, that's how we'll close out the show. Oh, my God. I love that.
With
Yeah.
the saging.
Yes. So her and I had a great conversation yesterday. And she did a reading for me. She does like real readings. She's not like me who's like, oh, pick a card. It's fun. She does this really beautiful thing for me. And she took a video and then we had like a 3-hour debrief about it. And it was so nice and so validating. And she's so clear and articulate in the way that she talks about the cards coming up. And her and I don't know details about our lives. Like we just know each other as like acquaintances, your friend. And so as she's doing my reading, she's like, I don't know if this is true or not, but I'd love to know more about it. So I'm telling her my life story, which is also interesting because as I started to get closer to when you and I met, I would just say, when I was in college and then, one of my good friends was in the health department and I was a resident director moving into my new residence hall. And I was called into the office and told, okay, I know you just moved in yesterday, but we need you to relocate and go full time. And at the same time, my girlfriend who knew I was going through a hard time in the health department called and said, hey, there's a new girl in our department. I think you would be really good friends with her. Why don't you come to an Amerks game? And I was like, okay. So then I go with her. We are in the car. We get to the parking garage and I immediately say, I need to go pee. And I start peeing in the parking lot. And she goes, oh my God, that girl was Erin. I said, yep. So like I'm telling her these things and she's bringing in because she has read the timeline and she's like, oh, all of these aha moments are coming for her so she can put it all together. And it was so validating and cool to talk to her. And then she gave me some amazing feedback. And she said, when I listened to your podcast, she said every time you say, when you bring up these oils that we do, and I say, if you're feeling resistant to it, it's because you need it more. And she says, I feel uncomfortable when you say that because she's like, that's your perception because you're always in a chaotic state. And she goes, so for you, that might make a lot of sense. But for the general public, generally you need to go things that you're drawn to. So her experience or your experience with her in the store, when she said, what are you drawn to? Where for me, I would never be drawn to this. It would be the most resistant. In fact, I even said to you, I was wearing my black Lululemon, whatever those things are.
Yeah.
Fanny pack things.
Yep.
And I said to you while I was eating my rolled up fish, I feel so inauthentic right now because this is not me. I would never wear black ever. And I feel uncomfortable. I don't like what this feels like. I couldn't find my pink one. I think it's because my daughter took it and she swapped it and left me the black one. And to this day, I feel very uncomfortable. So for me, I would never pick this. It's the least resistant. So to me, it's like, nope, that's exactly what you need. And she said, well, generally that's not how it works. So I appreciated that feedback.
You know who does pick black?
Yeah, right. I was thinking about that in all of our podcasts. I'm like, she only wears black.
Only wears
and
black.
I don't think I've ever worn the same thing twice.
I know. I thought about that today because I wore this. We talked about the fact that it cuts my boobs.
Right.
And I wore it again.
Right.
And I thought, I don't think Rebecca's wearing the same thing twice.
No.
But it's because you wear it, then you'd return it, and you buy something else.
Right.
But,
It's true. It's true. In fact, I had one of the soccer dads say to me, I've never seen you wear the same thing twice. I'm like, it's pretty normal.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't eat
He's
the
paying
same thing.
attention to that?
Apparently, because yeah, right. Yeah, right. No, it's because I dress the way I dress that people are like, I don't know how you're comfortable doing that. I also don't eat the same thing twice. It's very rare that we have a repeat dinner in my house.
Holy crap. How do you even do that? How do you
Easily.
run out of stuff?
Ever?
It's very rare.
What about if you like something?
Yeah, I'll make it once in a while, twice. Yeah.
Wow.
But it's always new things.
You want to know what we have every night? Tacos or pizza.
No, I legit.
Chicken,
That's it.
tacos, salad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's it.
no.
Chicken salad.
That's it.
Oh, no.
Taco salad.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Taco salad.
No, it's I love to cook. So it's always different things. In fact, I said to her, because we're doing Thanksgiving together, I'm like, I'm changing up the menu this year. She's like, no, you're not. I want this, and this. I'm like, oh my God, we ate that last year. I'm like,
You know,
it's
the
so
only thing I'm looking
boring.
for. The only thing I'm looking for is
Right.
the green bean casserole.
Right. And
I
I'm
don't
like,
care.
oh, fine.
But if we don't have that green bean casserole, I'm not going.
But yeah, no, I
So
do
that's
not
really
like.
interesting.
I don't
She's
like anything.
essentially saying that you are a loose cannon. Your energy pulls you in a million different directions, and that I'm the stable one. Wow.
I mean, that's clear as day.
I mean, what hasn't been clear is that I've allowed myself to flow with your chaotic energy. And this is probably why this has been the worst year of my life. And
I mean, maybe.
And so I
Maybe.
think we need to.
I mean, my year wasn't that great either.
Right. Well, that's because you were just rebutting my groundedness the whole time.
Yeah, I'm like, oh God, this doesn't feel good. Ugh.
But the fact that
Mix
you
it up.
had to have two of those black
I know.
rocks in my mind was it was non-negotiable.
Right.
It had to be balanced. You had to have one in each hand.
Yeah.
I was drawn to the black. It was so clear to me. It was not purple. It was not gold. It was not anything else. It was solid. And
she
the
said-
ones I picked for myself, purple,
Like airy,
light pink,
light and airy.
and like a silver metallic color. And the silver metallic one, whose name I can't remember right now, is the one she's like, that is the one I would have picked for you all day. The other two are just more like an amethyst and more starter gems, that they're just generally helpful, for everyone.
Rose quartz, things like that.
Yeah. And so it's really interesting that when I saw those black ones, the hematitty, I was so clear that you needed two of them.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. So her and I had this great call yesterday, and we talked a lot about a lot of things. And then this morning, I had a bunch of aha moments, specifically because, we've alluded to the fact that there's a lot of things going on in our lives, specifically for me and my career. And we've had a couple of different readings, and each time the Hermit has come up numerous times. And as I do consider myself an introvert in the sense that I like to be alone and I like to play a role, but I'm an extroverted introvert. I'm very crazy. I'm very loud. I'm happy to put on a show. But what I don't like doing is authentically engaging with people. It's very awkward and uncomfortable for me. So we're chit-chatting about these kinds of things, and I'm starting to see very clear where I need to spend time. And it's more with myself and really honing in on what's important and staying in that lane. And that's difficult for me because I'm not good at that. Ironically, I get up this morning, I take my daughter to school, and I say, Sawyer, go start the car for me because there's frost on the windshield. You got to turn it on and turn on the defroster. She's like, okay. And then she comes running in and she yells, Mom, there's a bug on the windshield. And I go, no, there's not. It's winter. It's probably just ice or leaves or something. She's like, no, I swear there's a bug. I'm like, that's gross. No, not true. I go out there and I go, where is it? And she's like, it's on the inside. I said, there is not a bug on the inside of the car. On my dashboard, there's one of those June bugs, those beetles, those June bug beetles that only come out in the summer at night. Dead as a doornail on my dashboard. Where did that come from? Immediately, I think of Kelly up the street. So, of course, you know me.
Yep.
What does June bug symbolize?
Yep.
And it symbolizes every single thing we talked about yesterday. It was as though she planted that thing there.
She came to your house, put the June
Honest
bug
to
there.
God. I was like, what? And I, because I always look up, Blue Jays were very prominent in my life when I had a communication problem, and they just kept showing up. And once I started listening, everything and made adaptations, everything changed. Then little weird signs. I remember I was having a conversation in my own head about something, and a bird pooped on my shoulder when I was walking. And then I thought about what I was thinking of in that moment when that happened. And then, of course, I looked up what that meant, and it said, that's a sure sign you need to go forward. That was something. It was crazy. Like all
we could
these
not
things.
Be any more
I know.
different.
And then
That's
my life changed when I
hilarious.
went into that. I'm telling you, this is why I go with the
Have you
pendulum.
ever done that, Scott?
What?
Have you ever gotten shat on by a bird and then looked it up on Google to find out what was that meaning? What did that mean? And what was I thinking about in that exact
In that
moment?
moment. I know. I swear to God. And then, so I'm looking up all these things. And as I'm going down the rabbit hole of the June bug, it specifically said that I need to focus on the intention of abundance. And abundance can mean multiple things. It can mean wealth. It can mean fulfillment in your life, anything. And I immediately bought an abundance candle, and now I have a plan to have a whole meditation session every day with my abundance
candle.
Yes, and in the candle are certain
Abundi.
certain crystals and things like that, and you have to say certain things, and you open your heart to abundance and wealth, and it shall come forward.
I love that stuff, and I really want to believe in it. I really want to, but I really have difficulty believing in that. And I don't know if it's like just my innate skepticism or what it is, but I go back and forth between
let me tell you,
being in that mindset, like abundance, and there's plenty of work to go around. Like there's one day where I'm like, everything's going to be fine. And then the next day I'm like, oh my God, I got to go get a job at Walmart. You know what I mean?
You know what it is for me, Scott? Because we're real clear. I'm not that far in. Okay. We're
barely dipping your toe into the pool.
We're really clear. For me, what it is I like to use it as a tool. Mm-hmm. And as I tend to be much more scientist practitioner minded, I tend to be much more like, show me the proof associated with that. Or it's not just based on your gut response, let's.
It's all it's faith based though. So you have to have faith in it for it to actually work for you.
Well, I don't know.
I believe.
So let me use the example of those gems that I put on my chest yesterday. I had a gut feeling while I'm at home and I'm not feeling well and I'm in my bed and I've been in bed for 2 days because I really don't feel well. And I see the gems and I remember just thinking in that moment, I would like to put these right here on my chest, right? Now, I'm not attributing to that. I'm not as far as Rebecca would be in that moment, which she would taken all the stones out. She would have planned, I need to do this cleansing ritual associated with being my bed, right? She would have gone through all of that. For me, I see the stones, I put the stones on my chest and I use it. I realize in that moment, it's more meditational for me that I'm in that moment and I'm focused on the energy that's in my chest. I'm focused on mentally pushing the energy from my body into the rocks. Do I think that that's absolutely happening? No. Okay. Again, you see by Rebecca's face that she's 100% clear those rocks took on my virus, and that's why I feel better today. Okay. It's fine because we all are who we are.
Maybe if you kept them on longer, you'd be totally clear.
It's the process of that meditational aspect of that was comforting to me. That was something that allowed me to mentally get the anxiety out of my body and into these rocks. I took the rocks off when it felt like the right time. And then I thought, I need to cleanse these in salt. Why do I need to cleanse them in salt? Because Kelly told me that you cleanse your rocks in salt. Is that because I so clearly believe
Use a washcloth.
that, well, water's another option apparently, but is it because I so clearly believe that if I don't rinse these off, the next person who touches this is getting the cold virus? No, it's because I was told that's the next step in the process is to cleanse your rocks. I'm a rule-bound person. I got to cleanse my rocks. And I use that as a tool to be able to go through a difficult moment of illness and to just be present in that moment. I don't see any harm in that, right? I don't feel any harm in that. I'm not hurting anyone else. I feel good about it, right? It's funny when I think about it or talk about it.
You still have the presence of mind that if it got worse, you'd go to the doctor. Whereas some
Exactly.
people would be like, add another rock.
Oh,
Exactly.
yeah. No, I'm not
Exactly.
like that. I'm not like, I'm going to do nothing and wait for the universe to tell me.
Yes,
No.
I'm praying
Exactly.
for your cancer to leave your body.
No.
Exactly.
No.
Right. And there are people who do that too. And so there is, for me, that's not me.
Yeah.
That's not my MO. It's more, I don't need to go so far as to always run to the doctor for every single thing that's going on, but I need to have the feel mixed with the scientific evidence, mixed with just logic for me in order to feel okay. And that's why I feel okay in this space. I also think it's fun when Kelly up the street gives me a reading, and I love thinking to myself, oh my God, how does that totally fit in? And I use that information as a tool to help frame what I have been feeling
Yes.
very clearly.
That's what she helped me do yesterday. It was,
Yeah.
and because she doesn't know me.
Right.
You doing a reading to me could be interpreted very different because you
Right.
just know and you're able to connect the dots a
Right.
little bit differently than me.
Right.
Yeah, again, I feel the same way. It's just a tool. It's just
But
another
that's
tool.
that's the way it should be done. If you think about back in the medieval days or whatever, where they believed one thing and then that was it.
Yeah.
And it came down to some of those superstitions. There were some actual scientific proof to it, but if you kind of combine the science with the superstition, you're better off.
Yep. But I also think it's that concept of mindset, right? So if you have the gratitude mindset or the positive mindset, you're just more open to seeing things in that particular light. If you have the victim mentality or you have the poor me's mindset, you're always in that mentality.
That I 100% believe in.
But to me, it's the same thing. If I'm sitting here and I'm in the abundance mentality and I'm in the wealth comes to me, I'm going to make very different decisions in that mindset than I would in the desperation mindset. I'm going to take whatever I can because I'm feeling desperate and fear-based, right?
It's a hard mindset to maintain.
100%, but that's why it's a practice. That's why meditation is a practice.
That's a good point.
Yeah. I mean, I'm the worst meditator. Can you see? I start
No.
for 2 seconds and I'm like, what's
Yeah,
happening over there? I'm bored.
Yeah, I tried meditating. I tried meditating this morning when I got in. And
How long that last?
well, let's see, the first time it lasted 5 minutes and then I went and did something and they came back. And then the second time, when my head hit the wall behind me, I woke up and realized.
Yeah.
But I did get about 10 minutes of actually just concentrating on my breathing and that's it. And every time my
That's what you're
mind
supposed
would
to do.
wander, I'd be like, no, breathing.
Bring it back.
But yeah, my mind goes walkabout often.
It's a common misconception of meditation and mindfulness is that the minute that you sit down to be able to do it, you should be able to do it for 20 minutes at a time and be fully present in that moment.
Yeah, right.
That is unrealistic, right? Just the simple practice of putting the gems on your chest and focusing for a moment on what's in your body and what you're moving into the rock is the state of mindfulness.
That's right.
And presence.
That's
right. And the goal is you do that for 30 seconds. You do it for a minute. You do it for a minute and a half. You get up to whatever your body is able to successfully tolerate. And that's going to be different but for each person, right? And then you will move into a place where before you walk into a job interview, right? You might be in your car. You might take some breaths. You might say something out loud. You might notice yourself just going through the interview process. That is all a part of presence.
Yes.
And that presence is grounding.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty in my mind of what meditation, mindfulness, presence brings into everyday life. It does not need to be sitting with your legs crossed, hands like this in a quiet Buddha sanctuary, right? You can do it literally anywhere.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it's a practice.
That's what makes it intimidating because you see people who are really, really advanced and practiced and all of it. It's the same concept of listening. Listening is not a skill people hone in on enough. They are so worried about what they're going to contribute and what they're going to say. And it's sad. It's really sad. And nobody spends enough time with their youth, including families, learning how to listen and really truly hear each other. And so I think that meditation can help with that. And it's funny, we always talk about discipline in schools, right? And how you've done research, and I've just read research studies on schools specifically with at-risk youth have shifted a little bit, not lots of them, but some of them have shifted a little bit to putting yoga in when the room becomes chaotic. The snap of the finger means everybody go into downward dog. It's just a natural thing. And then all of a sudden people just realign and re-energize. And I think to myself, why is this not talked about more? Instead of getting punished and having to sit in the corner, we remove the child and we go through meditation and yoga, or we create these, those sensory things where it's like gel or whatever with glitter in it, and you have to watch it go up and down, and you have to be thinking about your breathing. Those skills are so much more important than detention and discipline. And
it's a shift.
It's really sad for me that people don't buy into that. I don't understand.
Well, it's such a drastic shift from where we have been to where we are going. And those shifts take a tremendous amount of time. Just look at the difference between my parents' thought process on a lot of things and my thought process on a lot of things, right? They're drastically different. There's not a tremendous age gap between us, right? I mean, the span of 40 years, 30 years, that's not crazy, right? But you're having to really change the mindset of a whole paradigm of what is discipline, what is social emotional learning, what is teaching, right? What belongs in the classroom. It's
even in the workplace.
Very interesting.
When I shifted careers and left higher education and I went to go work for a private company, the shift in culture was mind blowing to me. I remember. I started working remote 10 years ago. So this is pre-COVID. Now, I think a lot of things have changed since COVID, right? Because people realize we don't need to be the way we've always been. But anyway, when I first started working in this new environment, we were all remote, and my boss would say, if we're having a meeting and you're not outside walking, that's unacceptable. And I remember thinking, I can't do that because I need to take notes and I need to remember what we're talking about. And he's like, that's what video recording is for. I'm like, what? And then I remember we went to a staff meeting in person. We were doing a retreat, and it was like, he would be presenting something and then all of a sudden be doing yoga while talking. And I'm like, this is so weird. But that's just the culture that has been created in that environment. And now that's so normal to me to think that if I go out to somewhere and that I can't just excuse myself or do what I want to do when I want to do it is weird. It is very normal for me to just do what I need to do in order to maintain my own health. And if I don't want to go to a meeting because I'm not feeling energetic that day, I don't need to go. I'll figure it out later.
Lies the shift. Right? Because how many times have I said to you, you can never go back to working in a standard place of employment.
Not that kind of employment. Right. No way.
In a standard, more traditional place of employment. There's not a chance.
No, because the expectations would be so drastically different than what I'm used to. And it would not only kill my spirit, it would make me very unproductive. It would not be great because I figured out what works for me because I had been stifled for so long, being forced to fit into that standard way of expectations.
And where I think we have spent a lot of time coming together on this and other issues is it is not the case that way you were just talking about is 100% the way that it needs to be. And it is not the case that the sit in your cubicle, stay from 9 to 5 is exactly how it needs to be. But the reason that change doesn't happen quicker is that this side is judging this side for the fact that you're not allowing me to be free flowing.
Right.
And this side is looking at your side and saying, look how unproductive you are. And it's because we're not spending enough time talking about just let's curiosity wise look at this shift and take what we want and leave what we want and create something new. We're in such a place where we have to be battling against each other that it stunts the growth of something beautiful because we're so uncomfortable with what we have come to learn and feel and the fear of going back there or what we fear as being a new way of doing things and what that might mean for my sense of self.
Right.
It's all interconnected.
Right.
You know?
Right. And it's so interesting because it makes sense to me why people would be an entrepreneur because it's very rare that an entire company would make the kind of shifts that would need to happen. So instead, what are your other options? You go work for yourself. If I don't like my kid being in that rigid school system, what are my other options? Homeschool. Do it myself.
And as an entrepreneur, I can't wait to someday go back to working at Target. Right?
Amen, sister.
Yeah.
All right. It's time.
Okay.
We're 10 minutes over. This is where Scott comes in and he lays the smack down.
He lays the smack down.
So
Okay.
we don't have time to do your hippie do.
Okay.
We will pick one card here.
Okay.
And this will be the affirmation.
Okay.
For today. Okay.
Blame
here
it
it
on
is. Do-do-do-do, boop. I know, Scott, I got to blame it on someone. It can't be me. Okay. Oh,
What?
I love this.
Okay.
I am doing what feels good. I know that exploring my passions will lead me to my purpose.
Stop.
I am doing what feels good. This card right here, you want to talk about a tool, could not be more true
We have to talk about
for both of us in the most opposite ways possible.
Yep. That was our aha.
I'm doing what feels so good to me that makes you so uncomfortable. And you are doing what makes you feel so good. And I want to vomit.
Yeah. Yeah. I have to read this card now. I have to do it. My card.
Hurry up. Scott's
Okay.
going to yell.
Scott,
We don't need him.
Scott,
Scott,
I'm
Jesus,
gonna yell.
Scott,
I
you
wanna
take a
hear the
minute. Oh
card
my God. He's
too.
going to
For the
He's going
future?
to come in. He's going to go
For the future.
How many times? Oh my God.
The
Okay.
I'm
future
gonna do it real quick.
podcast.
Please hurry up. Oh my
Two
God.
of Pentacles. Options.
Yep.
This two shows a decision is underway. You're considering your options, rehearsing all the possible outcomes rather than taking action. The choice may concern jobs, places to study, potential homes, or where to travel. In personal finances, there are demands on your resources, so you may find yourself juggling income and expenditures in order to balance the books. Advice: pay attention to the details of any financial agreements or offers. Look for the long-term benefits rather than going for the short-term gain.
I'm all in for the hippie boo now.
Yep.
I'm just kidding.
Yep.
Still
All
not.
in.
But
All in.
total tool. Love that. It's so true.
Yep.
Yes. Rebecca and Ruth here today
All right, we'll be
with
saging
your
after.
hippie boo. Come on in for a sage.
Ooh, that smells good. Ooh.
Scott, come bring it on in for a sage.
Come on, Scott.
Have a good day.
Bye. I loved that.
Me too. Isn't empathy amazing?
Well, we're amazing. I don't know about all this empathy stuff.
That's fine. I accept you wherever you are.
Oh, God.
I love you.
I love you too.
And if you love us, please like and subscribe to More Love, the Power of Empathy podcast, wherever you get your podcasts.
See you next time.